Hey guys, Mr. Bowman here. We're now looking at our next messy quadratic. And like the first one, our goal is to practice factorizing. And then once we've factorized, see what we can cancel out, either brackets or factors, and then solve the simplified equation. So let's get into our factorizing. So our starting point is going to be the numerator on the left. And straight away, I'm thinking they've got a 3 in common. So I'm going to take out that 3. That leaves us with an x and a -7. That is going to be divided by x squared minus 7x. And again, I'm thinking common factors. They both have an x in common. I don't think it's going to be a double bracket quadratic. So I'm going to take out an x, see what happens. And for me, that's looking really good. I can see an x minus 7 up the top, an x minus 7 down the bottom. That means they are factors, and we'll be able to cancel them out. And that's going to leave us with x, 3 divided by x on the left-hand side. We're now going to move on to the right-hand side of our equation. That does look a bit more complicated. Let's have a think. Let's look at our expressions to see what we can do here. The most obvious thing I've identified already is every single part, all 5 parts of that right-hand side, they've all got a 3 in common. So we're actually going to look, we're going to take out that 3. So that leaves 2x squared minus x minus 10. And that is going to be divided by 3x plus 2. And again, we've got that 3 yanked out. That's a common factor. We're going to get rid of those as well. Let's simplify on our new line of working. We've got 3 divided by x. That's looking nicer already. That's going to be equal to 2x squared minus x minus 10. And that's going to be divided by x plus 2. Again, looking a lot nicer than the original part of our equation. The last thing we're looking to work on is that top, the numerator on the right-hand side, x squared, 2x squared minus x minus 10. That's a quadratic. I'm backing I can factorize that to some double brackets, and hopefully that'll allow me to cancel some more stuff out. But let's dive in. Because it has a coefficient greater than 1, we're probably going to think about using the grouping method to factorize our quadratic. And we're just going to times 2 by -10, and that's going to get us to -20. We now have to start thinking what 2 numbers are going to multiply to -20 but add to -1. From my head, I'm thinking it's -5 times 4. That's going to get us to -20. And -5 plus 4, that's going to get us to our -1. So those are going to be the numbers that we're going to split the negative x into to help our factorizing by groups. So just below that, we're going to write 2x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 10. And we should be able to factorize from here. Let's look at the first pair or the first group. They've got an x in common, and that's going to be 2x minus 5. Let's have a look at our second group. They look like they've only got a 2 in common, so we're going to add 2, and that's going to leave 2x minus 5. And straight away, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I've got one bracket of 2x minus 5 and another bracket of 2x minus 5. So they're going to be the first bracket, and the bits left over, x and x plus 2, they are going to form our second bracket. So we factorize that. Let's put it back into our equation to see how that might help us solve. Okay, so that's in our equation. Again, I'm liking what I see. We've come up with a factor of x minus x plus 2, and that matches our bottom numerator or our denominator, x plus 2. They're going to cancel each other out. And that's going to leave x divided by 3 is equal to 2x minus 5. We're now looking a lot easier to solve. For me, the starting point is we need to get rid of that divided by x. So 3 is going to be equal to x, 2x minus 5. If we expand that becomes 2x squared minus 5x. 0 is going to be equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. And down the bottom here, we've got yet another quadratic. So to solve this, we're going to need to factorize again, and that is going to reveal possibly two answers to our original equation. So let's have a look. So because we have a coefficient greater than 1, we're going to need to use the grouping method. So 2 times -3, that is equal to -6. What two numbers multiply to -6 but add to -5? I'm thinking -6 times 1, that becomes -6, and -6 plus 1, that becomes -5. So it looks like those meet our criteria. We're going to factorize by our group, so 2x squared minus 6x plus x minus 3. Let's factorize the first part. We're going to take out a 2x, that leaves an x minus 3. And the second group, they have nothing in common apart from a 1, and they will also leave x minus 3. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I've got 2x minus 3, so that's going to become our first bracket, x minus 3, and the leftover parts, 2x plus 1. That's going to become our second bracket. So we're going to put that down the bottom of our equation. 0 is going to be equal to x minus 3, 2x plus 1. In a new color, in blue, I'm going to solve this remaining quadratic. So we had 0 is equal to x minus 3, 2x plus 1. If this bracket is equal to 0, our whole equation will be 0. So that means x1, that is going to be equal to 3. And the second one, if this bracket is equal to 0, the entire equation will be 0. We can then go there, 2x is equal to -1, x2 is going to be equal to -1 over 2. That means, from our original equation, if we put 3 into our equation, the left-hand side is going to be equal to the right-hand side. And it also means if we put a -1/2 or -0.5, the left-hand side is also going to be equal to the right-hand side. So we have two solutions to our equation, and hopefully you got those two equations or those two solutions as well. Hopefully you found this question challenging. Thank you for watching.